Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started as people are able to join. I'm sure they will. Thank you for joining us today. Again, my name is Joe Feldkamp, and I run marketing communications for Clopay's residential business unit. Um, Today is the first in a series, a five-part series for our webinars, and um, portions of the content for today's event are pre-recorded for efficiency purposes, but the questions and answers section will be live in its entirety. So please submit your questions and we'll get started in just a moment. I'll turn things over to Christian Gray from GoTo. Thanks.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. So here you're going to see just a short list of everyone that could be speaking today. I got myself. I am the growth strategist and SEO and SEM manager here at GoTo Partners. Amy Carmen will be your resource. If you have any questions, reach out to her. And then we got Dave Carland on our side, who is the partner here at GoTo. So that is everybody on the GoTo side. Joe already introduced himself, and then Robin, she might look familiar to some of you. She is the digital comms manager at Clopay as well. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and get started here. So taking a look at our agenda today, we're going to cover a whole look at digital marketing for the garage door industry. We'll start with an overview of the partnership between GoTo Partners and Clopay, and then we're going to dive into whether or not a website alone is enough to meet your goals. We'll explore omni-channel marketing, what it is and how to do it. Then we'll jump into website do's and don'ts, and then we'll cover some basic website maintenance, and then we'll close out today with just a Q&A session, and then also give you guys some resources to leave here with. All right, so Clopay and GoTo Partners. GoTo Partners has been the preferred marketing agency for the last 15-ish years or so. We have a lot of expertise in the garage door industry because we've been partners for so long. What the partnership brings for the dealers is exclusive website tools and content, program discounts, and exclusive Clopay designs. Currently, we support about 80 different dealers. That's from advertising, web services, SEO, anything and everything related to digital marketing. All right, so jumping into the guts of the presentation here. One question that we get asked a lot is a website enough these days? And to be short, the answer is no. Unfortunately, it is not. In today's digital landscape, your online presence needs to be more dynamic and encompassing. Let's explore why that is and how you can leverage an omni-channel approach to enhance your marketing strategy. Okay, so first things first, we got omni-channel marketing. What is it? It's a seamless experience across multiple channels. So think of your social media outlets. You got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got LinkedIn, you got TikTok, anything and everything in between on the social side. You also got your website, you got Google Ads, you got SEO, you have the traditional side of marketing as well, which is, print media. So you got your coupons, magazine, articles, radio, TV, that kind of stuff. All of those experiences across all the different channels. So as consumers move across devices, online and offline, the brand messaging is informed by prior encounters. In an increasingly digital world, your consumers move fluidly between online and offline platforms. So the strategy is crucial as it adapts to consumer behavior and ensuring the brand and messaging are consistent. Not only does it enhance the customer satisfaction, but it supports brand loyalty and recognition. And it's been said that it can increase revenue between 5 and 15% just by adopting omni-channel marketing. Again, benefits, make sure that you're diversifying your channels. There's a lot of benefits as far as reaching your audience in different areas and the engagement, reaching them where they are at the time that they're engaging with your brand. And then last thing there, the data-driven decision making, that's huge. You don't want to ignore what the data is telling you. You may believe one thing, you think it's the greatest idea in the world, but it could fall flat on its face. Listen to what the data is telling you and follow it, because you'll be a lot more successful. All right, so now we're going to move into how to do it. First, you're going to identify who your top buyer is. Start by understanding who your most valuable customers are. Analyze your sales data and customer interactions to identify patterns and characteristics of your top buyers. This will help you tailor your marketing efforts to appeal to more profitable segments. Number two, we got collect and analyzing data. Data is huge. It's going to be the backbone of any successful marketing strategy. Collect data from every customer touch point possible, and then use those insights in order to guide your decision making, like I said previously. It'll just enhance the customer experience, and you'll see a lot more success because of it. And then kind of going into that customer experience, make sure you are focusing on it. Every interaction should be optimized to deliver value, satisfaction to the customer. This means ensuring consistency in messaging, branding, and the quality of every single interaction across all platforms. That includes the website, social media, if you're doing radio, print ads, all of that. Make sure it's consistent across all the channels that we spoke about previously. And then moving on to the understanding preferences. Not all customers are the same. You have to recognize that. So it's crucial to understand the preferences and behaviors of different customer segments. This knowledge allows you to customize experience and communicate in the most effective way for them. Then we got determining your top channels. So all the channels that we've touched on before, and using those data-driven insights, make sure that you're understanding what your top channels are. Dedicate more dollars to those channels so that you're reaching the right audience at the right time, and you're seeing success coming from those top channels. And then share context relevant content. Everybody wants to learn. Everybody wants to see more of your brand. Get in front of them. Content should be tailored not just to the channel, but also the customer stage in the buying journey. Not everybody is ready to buy a garage door necessarily today, but say you get in front of them now and they remember your name, and you consistently are putting your content in front of them, pushing them through that funnel. And as they get down the funnel, they'll remember you and they'll reach out to you when it is time and they do have the budget or the need for a garage door. And then we got be consistent across channels. I know we talked about the consistency in branding and messaging. It's vital. A customer should feel the same brand essence, whether they're visiting your website, reading an email, walking into your store, hearing the radio, anything and everything. And make sure it's a seamless experience. Work towards removing any friction in the customer journey. You don't want something to go wrong as far as, like, say a form didn't get to them, calling the business multiple times. Like, you want to make sure it's as frictionless as possible so that when they are ready to buy, you can go ahead and take advantage of that. And then we got make use of technology. Make sure you're leveraging technology to facilitate omnichannel marketing. Tools like a CRM, marketing automation tools, analytics platforms like Google Analytics, it's free. Make sure you're utilizing those tools to see how your customers taking in your brand. And then go from there to learn, test, optimize, measure, and repeat. It's rinse and repeat all the way through. I think some things that a lot of brands fall short of is they kind of set it and forget it, right? We want to get into the habit of making sure that if we're trying something, we're following up to see if it works. I mean, don't just set it and forget it. Try new things. Test the waters, and then make sure you're coming back to see if it was successful. And if not, make the changes and move forward. All right, so all the talk with omnichannel marketing, we're going to start with the most important channel, which is your website. So why are we starting with the website? 94% of people make their first impressions based off of a website's design. 88% of people who search for a type of business on a mobile device call or go to that business within 24 hours. And lastly, 75% of consumers admit to making judgments on a company's credibility based on the company's website design. So as you can see, those are pretty high statistics, and that's where we want to make the biggest impact. So that's why we want to start with the website. So going into the do's and don'ts, these are some best practices that you can implement today. And so first, things that you want to do. Set up Google Analytics. It's free. It's easy to set up. There's plenty of tutorials out there on YouTube to get it set up on your website and start tracking the consumer's interactions and see how they're interacting with your brand. For those people that are wanting to take a little bit more of an advanced route, if you're a little bit more technically savvy, try out Google Tag Manager. It's really cool how you can set up different things to track and monitor. If you're willing to take that route, I highly recommend it. It's a great tool. And then we got take advantage of a website and the design elements. Use guided customer paths. Don't just throw up a picture, throw up some text. Make sure that you're telling a story. You want to tell people, hey, go from here to here. I want to guide you to what you're needing. So say they do need that garage door, say they do need an opener. Guide that experience for them so that they can seamlessly go through it and get to the end and then hopefully reach out to you for business. Use branded elements. Use that consistency and brand tone, messaging, put your logo where it makes sense. Have that same look and feel to all your images across the site. And make sure your conversion elements, is what we call them, are clickable. So that's your phone number, your email address, map directions. With more and more people going to mobile devices, they're going to click on that phone number immediately and call you. They're going to click on that email address and email you. They're going to click on those map directions and visit your store. So make sure that those elements on your website are clickable. And that also makes it easier to track as well. And lastly, make sure you have clear CTAs, which are calls to action. That can be get your dream door now. Make sure it's very clear, concise, and they know exactly what you're talking about and what action you want them to take. All right, so we've talked about the good things on a website. Going over to the bad things, don't leave it to a guess. One thing that I've stressed throughout this entire webinar is use the data, use it to your advantage. Don't leave it to a guess, set it and forget it. Next, we got overcomplicate the customer experience. I think a lot of people fall trapped to how they think the consumer actually interacts with their website based off of how they interact with their own website. There's a lot of internal talk, company slang that you use that consumers don't necessarily care about nor know about. So they're not going to interact with your website the same way that you would. So make the navigation simple and don't use unbalanced imagery versus text elements. One thing I like to stress is your grandma should be able to come on your website and do what you need her to do. So if you take that approach as somebody that's not as technically savvy, if your grandma can get through your site and buy a garage door or a garage door opener, then you're doing something right. Again, back to the branding, make sure it's consistent. You don't want to use any inconsistent branding on the site. And then do not ignore mobile responsiveness and accessibility. Like I said, as a lot of interactions are becoming more and more mobile heavy, we want to make sure that our sites are set up for mobile. Do not ignore it. It's going to help you much more in the long run. It's going to get you better results. All right, so now we got your website. Can't set it and forget it though, right? So now what do we do? We got some maintenance. First, we're going to test some loading speed. Something that Google stressed in the last few years, especially, is making sure that websites are responsive and they're getting to the destination and the URLs quickly, so that that user has a better user experience on your site. So I've listed a few resources there. They should all be free. There are paid versions if you would like to do so, but most of these tools should do you guys just fine. So use GTmetrix, web.dev, and Google Search Console to test some loading speed on your site. And then fix broken links and errors. There's a lot of links and text images that get broken, and that's a no-no for Google. They want to make sure that any path that a user can take, they're getting somewhere that's useful to them. So make sure you're going to brokenlinkcheck.com, dead link checker, and then SEMrush has a free tool as well. A very cool tool SEMrush is. It can be anything and everything you want. it to be if you want it to. They do have a paid version, which is really, really cool to dive into if you guys want to check that out. And then check your search rankings. See how you're ranking against your competitors. So if somebody types in garage door near me, see if you're on that first page. See who's above you and what page that is going to. So then you're starting to think about content and you're thinking about how to make the user experience better and how you can better assist your audience. So if you check those search rankings, you can really start to optimize your website for search results pages. And then updating that content, that's just going to enhance that experience. It's going to help you on the SEO side of things. So don't forget to do that. And lastly, we got analyze data. I can't stress it enough. Go back to what's working. Go back to the well. But don't forget why things aren't working. Try to understand why something didn't work. Take a deeper dive into your data to understand what mistakes were made, what could have been better. That way you're more successful in the future. Use Google Analytics for all of this. It's a very simple tool to set up. They give you a lot of insight and it's free. So take advantage of it. It's no cost to you and it'll give you a lot of key insight as to what's going right and what's going wrong. All right. And that's all that I got for you guys today. We're going to move into a Q&A. So we'll take a look at the chat and answer any of the questions that you guys have for us. All right. So looking at the chat, it doesn't look like there were any questions today. If you look down at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A. I'll give you guys a second if you want to pop in a question. I'll go ahead and address it here. Anything about the webinar, anything about services, be happy to help answer here. As you guys are thinking about those, I'll go ahead and move on to some resources that'll help you guys out. So
we have a question from Jeff.
Oh, yep. Thank you, Jeff. Discuss setting a budget for AdWords. This is a popular question. The easiest way to answer it is do what's comfortable for you, what makes sense for your business. Make sure that you're understanding your market, but you don't want to completely outprice yourself because you can quickly overspend. There's a lot of people that don't necessarily pay attention in their ads and are spending outrageous amounts for clicks and stuff like that and not getting results just because they're not familiar with the tool. But first and foremost, start with what's comfortable for you. You don't need to go all out, but you can start at a small amount and then kind of increase from there as you get more comfortable with it and gain more insight into your competition and your keywords and such. Thanks for the question, Jeff. I understand that Google is sunsetting searches for garage and other items from following you around the web. If I'm understanding that correctly, are you kind of talking about the local map pack and how small businesses in general, they are starting to sunset keyword and content related items? Is that what you're referring to? Yep. Okay. Just wanting to make sure. Yeah, they've announced that they're starting to go away from that a little bit. They're still kind of in the testing phases of it. But yeah, that kind of goes into what we'll talk about later down the line, the Google Business Profile, making sure that that's up to date, making sure that you're focused on review generation and optimizing for that good customer experience. So yes, there will be a little bit more on the Google Business Profile side than there will be on the content side like it has been in previous years. But that's still kind of going through a transition now. Good question. All right. Some resources for you guys in the meantime. If you got any questions later on that you think of, go ahead and email us, or you can find us on LinkedIn. Go ahead and follow us on all of our social accounts. We have Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Poke around on our website there on the growth.gotopartners.com and the Clopay homepage. You should be able to find more information about our services and then any other assistance that you guys might need. And if you're not sure who to reach out to, go ahead and just reach out to your Clopay rep. They'll be there to help. And they're on the right side. If you guys want to reach out to us individually, feel free to do so. We're here for you guys. All right. I think that's all the questions that I'm seeing here. This is going to be the next topic. We're going to discuss generating reviews and email programs. We'll kind of touch on that Google Business Profile in the next webinar. So stay tuned and look out for an email for an invite. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.